Let's talk about the 9 most common low-carb myths, okay? You hear this all the time, and I just want to cover each one of them. The first one is that low-carb diets are a fad, okay? Now, a fad is some intense and widely shared enthusiasm for something that is short-lived. So the question is, why would it be short-lived? If you're benefiting on a low-carb diet, you're going to stick with it. Why would you stop it? And why is it so bad to be enthusiastic about something that works? Yes, there are a lot of people that are intensely enthusiastic about keto and low-carb diets and intermittent fasting because they feel so much better. So the low-carb diets are absolutely, positively not a fad. Some people would want you to believe that, but it's absolutely growing and growing and growing. It's not going to be short-lived simply because it works. Next one. It's okay for weight loss, but not for long-term health. Now, this is completely ridiculous. Why would something work short-term and not work in the long run? Now, the argument that certain people will use is that they'll take the evidence of, or the studies of traditional or classical keto for epilepsy, where they have low quality ingredients and you have all these different side effects like kidney stones and gout and high cholesterol and bad breath. Well, we're not recommending that version. We are recommending the healthy low carb or keto version of the ketogenic diet. All right, next one, number 3. All that fat is going to make you get a heart attack. Absolutely, positively not true. First of all, I never met anyone that is consuming all the bacon grease from the bacon. They fry up the bacon and they toss out the grease and they leave the crispy bacon, okay? Most people don't eat a lot of butter, okay, in one sitting. Now, what's interesting about butter is I used to crave butter as a child. I didn't know that I needed a lot of butter for the vitamin K2, and I was very, very deficient. In fact, I remember wanting to consume a whole pound of butter. So my parents wouldn't do that because they, at the time, had this idea that fat was bad. But if you crave butter, you probably need something in the butter. But the point is that we're recommending healthy fats, fats that normally come with protein. And no, fat is not unhealthy, especially if you're not adding the carbohydrates to the fat. So when you add the carbohydrates to the fat, that becomes a problem. But we're doing low carbohydrates, okay? All right, number 4, it's not sustainable. This is hilarious. Low carb diets get rid of your cravings. Low carb diets make you so you're not hungry anymore. Guess what? That's very sustainable. When you start adding in the carbs and the frequent eating and even a low calorie diet, that's not sustainable. But keto and low carb is very sustainable. Number 5, it's not healthy to omit a food group. Well, first of all, that is completely made up by the food manufacturing companies that sell certain foods that really shouldn't be in our diet in the first place. There's no such thing as essential sugar, okay? Or essential refined carbohydrates. So it's extremely healthy to omit certain food groups. All right, number 6, you don't want to cut your carbs because you're going to be cutting down your vegetables. Well, whoever said that doesn't understand that we don't count vegetables in our equation. We want you to consume lots of vegetables, as in 7 to 10 cups per day. So that's what we want, and we're not cutting down on vegetables. And you can also have some berries. Number 7, your brain needs carbs. If you don't have carbs, you're going to be tired. Now, whoever's telling you that is a complete... You know what? I'm not going to go there. Your brain can very easily run on ketones. It loves ketones. The carbohydrates are the things that destroy the brain and cause Alzheimer's, okay? When you reduce carbs, your body automatically starts making ketones and your brain thrives on ketones. You'll have better mental endurance. It helps your cognitive function. If there's damage in the brain, ketones will bypass that mechanism and feed the brain cells directly. And I'm really talking about those people who are telling you that your brain needs carbs. They usually have brain damage because they've been consuming too many carbohydrates. A low-carb diet is not good for a diabetic because the rationale is you're going to end up with low blood sugar, hypoglycemia. That is complete and utter insanity. Think about what diabetes is. It's a condition of high sugar, right? So we're trying to lower it. Guess what's going to happen when you go in low carb? Your blood sugar is going to come down. It's going to decrease the need for medication, okay? You work with your doctor, you take less medication. Guess what? Now, less medication, your blood sugar goes normal, okay? It's not going to go hypo, it's going to go normal, and you're going to feel much better. And number 9, a low-carb diet is really a high-protein diet, and that's damaging for the kidneys. Again, absolutely not true. A low-carb diet, as in healthy keto, is moderate amount of protein, 3 to 6 ounces, maybe a little bit more, but it's not unlimited protein. All right, there you have it, the 9 low-carb myths. And now I want you to check out the myths of intermittent fasting. It's right on this page right here. Hey, before you leave, I just wanted to give you a little quick history on some of the books that I wrote. This was one of the first books. It's called Dr. Berg Body Shapes. It was my attempt at writing about body types. What was very interesting about this book is I actually did all the images myself. Don't ask me why. They look actually not quite as professional as some of the images that I have in the new book. But anyway, this is my first attempt right here called Dr. Berg's Body Shape Diets. And then I wrote a book more extensive called The 7 Principles of Fat Burning. I don't even have a copy anymore, actually, because it's outdated. The next book, I put about 1,000 hours into this one right here called The New Body Type Guide. Major updates on the body types. I put a lot of energy into this. It has professional images, graphics, all sorts of things. Now, the problem with this book is it doesn't really describe what this is really about. Body types are only a small portion of what's in this book. And that's why I changed the name to the Healthy Keto Plan, okay? If you happen to have this book, you don't really need this book because there's only very, very minor updates. But if you don't have this, you need to get this one right here. This book goes into every single detail that you would ever want to know about. It goes into the 7 principles of fat burning. It goes into hormones, the body types, the basic keto plan. It goes into intermittent fasting. I talk about the 10 fat burning triggers and blockers and fat burning strategies with a lot of details in every single chapter. I go into body issues that interfere with losing weight. There's very few people that just have a weight problem. They have a lot of body issues, whether it's sleeping problems, stress problems, inflammation, menopause. I cover that extensively in this book. Then I talk about how to get rid of stress, and I show you a technique. Then I get into exercising. And then I have a lot of really good recipes in this book as well. So this is a good reference guide. On my website, if you get this book, you get this one free. It's called Healthy Keto and Intermittent Fasting. This is the shortcut, quick guide to this book. And the reason I created this book is to have you, within 45 minutes, learn how to do keto, okay, in intermittent fasting, exactly what you need to do. Then you can fill in the blanks with this book right here. So right now I'm doing a special. If you get this book, you get this one totally free, or you can go to Amazon and get these individually. So I just want to clarify the difference between this book and this updated one right here. If you don't have this, you need to get this right here. That way you can get the exact correct information to do it healthily.